Okay. Yes. Your social studies book's out, page 312 is what we should be on. On your worksheet that you have handed out, make sure you put your name on it first. That should be the first thing you do. And then we'll go over it before we start. Okay, so our lesson for today is going to be over Jefferson and the Louisiana Purchase. On this worksheet, we're going to go over the vocabulary first, and then we'll talk about what we already know about the Louisiana Purchase. Hopefully you guys can remember things from last year in regards to that. Okay, so let's look at your book on page 312, and let's look at our vocabulary words. I believe they're on the side. Who wants to read the vocabulary words? Eddie?
Pioneer, frontier, caravan, interpreter.
Okay, pioneer, frontier, caravan, and interpreter. What about the academic vocabulary? Who wants to take a stab at those? Natalie?
Crucial and capable.
Okay, so crucial and capable. Okay, have we heard of those words before? Everybody? Okay. So on your worksheet, I'll give you time here in a little bit, you're going to go through and find the definitions of those words. They'll be in your reading, they'll be highlighted in your reading. So either you can find the answers through your reading, or you can look up in your glossary on the back of the book. I only put the first 4 vocabulary. I didn't add the academic ones on here. So it shouldn't take you very long to fill those out. But it's important that you guys know what they are before you start to read the chapter. And when you understand what the chapter is about as you go along. Okay? The next question on our worksheet is what I already know about the Louisiana Purchase. So you're also going to think about that one. What is something that you remember that you learned from last year? Or the year before for some of you guys. 3rd and 4th grade, when you guys were over there. I know you guys learned about Louisiana Purchase. So think about some of the things that you may know about it already, and also some names that may be associated with the Louisiana Purchase. Who was involved? Okay, I want to know what you already know about it before we start to read. Okay, that's why I'm not going to go talk about it right now, because I want to know what you already know before we begin to read. So you'll write anywhere about 2 to 3 sentences on that. You should be able to think at least a couple of facts about the Louisiana Purchase. And you should be able to think of at least 2 or 3 people in regards to the Louisiana Purchase. Really, guys? Oh my gosh, if I said some names, you'd be like, oh yeah. Oh, but you know it. I mean, it's been taught. Okay. Well, if you can't think of any, just leave it blank, okay? Just leave it blank. It's okay not to have it filled out. It's just, what is my previous knowledge? That's all I'm asking for. What is it that I already know? So that way, at the end of this lesson, we'll be able to see what is it that you learned, okay? So go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and give you 5 to 10 minutes. Let's start with 5. I don't think it should take you very long to fill these out, since they're all words that you've already seen. So I'm going to give you a few minutes right now to fill those out, and then we'll go on to reading.
So the whole page.
Just the front page.
Okay.
Yeah. So it really shouldn't take you very long for that. Remember, in your reading, when you look at a definition in yellow, sometimes the definition is right afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sometimes it can be just one word. So don't make it harder than what it is. Maybe if you're skimming through the chapter too to find these answers, you might come across some names. You look. That might help you kind of answer that question. Just the front page. Okay. Try not to look up the answers though. I want to know what you already know before looking in the chapter. Okay?
What do you mean? Oh, on this question?
Yeah, on those two questions on the bottom, try not to look for them.
I thought
Okay.
you were talking about this. I'm like,
No.
I'm looking.
The one I saw a few people kind of digging through, and
I don't remember anything.
that's okay. That's all right. And if you just even blank, that's fine. We're going to go over it in a minute, so you might want to flip it back. Okay? We'll discuss it. Okay. It's okay. All right, well, we're gonna, I think everybody's done. Yes, and So it says, this means, and it tells you right there what it means, okay? All right, let's go over the definitions, the vocabulary. So who wants to tell me what they wrote down for pioneer? What is a pioneer, Austin?
A person who built a home on the edge of the wilderness.
Okay, so the edge of the wilderness. What about frontier, Silas? The edge of the wilderness. And caravan.
One or more family moved together.
Okay, so a group of people that are moved together, okay? And interpreter. Noel?
A person who translates foreign languages.
Yeah, foreign language. So a person that translates foreign language. Do we have any questions on those? Does those pretty much make sense for you? Or do you have any questions that you need those further talked about? Breaks it down pretty well. Okay. Who wants to tell me what is something that they already know, what they already know about the Louisiana Purchase? Natalie?
People moved into the western areas.
Okay. Anybody else? Just don't really remember. Okay. What about names? Anybody think of names?
Jefferson.
Jefferson, because reason why we'd know that because it's right at the top. Jefferson and the Louisiana Purchase. It's right there on your page. That was a freebie for you.
That's exactly right.
Zeke.
Daniel, Ben, Lewis, and Clark.
Lewis and Clark, does that ring a bell?
Yeah.
Lewis and Clark and the Louisiana Purchase, the journey that they took. Yeah. And who helped Lewis and Clark? Who was their interpreter? Eddie? Sacagawea. So now you guys are like, oh yeah.
Yeah. How do you spell Sacagawea?
Just however you think it's spelled.
You can't always spell it right.
It's exactly what she said. Sacagawea. The G is the J. Okay. Okay.
Like winds, so you can't be held by
So
that.
now do you kind of starting to remember a little bit about it?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on. So let's look at our big question at the top. Unlock the big question. Who wants to read that one? Don't go writing it now after we talk about it. I don't want it filled out. You didn't. No, because that's just a what do you know beforehand kind of question, okay? You'll have time at the very end to go back in and fill in the new information. But for now, it's okay, but just for now.
I forgot about that question.
Yeah.
I only meant this question.
Yeah, I just wanted you to leave it blank because that way I knew that, in the end, it kind of tells us what exactly you learned throughout, or if you learned anything. Okay, so the big question, who wants to read it? Gavin?
I want to know that Jefferson's actions change where and how people in the United States live.
Okay, so by the end of this lesson, you should be able to answer that to yourself. It's not being asked out loud. You'll know how Jefferson's actions changed where and how people in the United States live. Okay, so if you're thinking about Louisiana Purchase, you should kind of know that answer. All right, so let's go ahead and read. Haven, you want to go ahead and start reading?
Before the United States came into the people began moving towards the territory. There was fertile land between them. Application mountain during civil war. If the land was not empty, many American people would sleep on these lands.
Okay. So why were they moving into the Western Territory? What was the reason for it? I know you guys have already gone over that too. Zeke?
More people are coming all over the world. In North America, they didn't have enough room to set them all.
Okay. Yep, you guys talked about that yesterday, so you already knew that. Okay, moving west. Gavin?
Moving west, Great Britain had tried to stop westward expansion.